The congressman who led the charge on the bill that could ban TikTok in the US has announced he's leaving Congress to join the US-based surveillance firm and defense contractor Palantir. Representative Mike Gallagher, whose last day will be April 19th, has recently made news for introducing the bill that would force ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, which is based in China, to sell the social media platform within 180 days of the bill being enacted. And that bill passed in the House earlier this month, and it currently awaits a vote in the Senate. Palantir, Gallagher's soon-to-be employer, has been working behind the scenes in Congress scaremongering over TikTok to help support Gallagher's bill. The Intercept's Sam Biddle reported that Palantir's senior policy advisor, Jacob Hellberg, has spoken to over 100 members of Congress about TikTok to support the ban. As for Gallagher's new job, it's unclear what Gallagher's title will be at the company or what his role will entail. The move is a major coup for Palantir, which has been tightening its relationship with the US Department of Defense as its focus on Taiwan increases. But we decided to look into Gallagher's campaign donations, and here's what we found. During the current election cycle, Alex Karp, Palantir's CEO, gave Gallagher the max individual contribution. Same for Shyam Sankar, Palantir's CTO, Akash Janin, Palantir's president, Josh Harris, Palantir's executive vice president, and Douglas Filippone, Palantir's head of global defense. Since 2020, top Palantir staff have given Gallagher over $55,000 in campaign contributions, and that includes a max contribution from Peter Thiel, who's Palantir's co-founder, and he gave that in 2021. So it might not seem like a surprise that Gallagher is being rewarded for doing Palantir's bidding with a post-Congress corporate gig, because Palantir sees TikTok as a competitor because of the app's unique position in the data collection marketplace, which is where Palantir operates. But more on that company, because it really is a shadowy black box. It's very private. This from 2020. Palantir is well known in the defense and policing worlds. Its product allows users to better visualize data and is used by states the world over. It has 1.2 billion in government contracts, including 92 million with ICE, which carried out the border deterrence operation considered a high priority for the Trump administration. The rise of Palantir is a dangerous development. In the US, its tools have mostly been deployed against immigrants and Black communities, but that may change. As we saw in Portland, DHS is willing and able to carry out the whims of the president to enact terror on the general public. And Palantir's work with ICE illustrates this danger best. Its tech has been used to carry out violent workplace raids across the country. Cenk, there are a couple factors here. I'm really curious for your take. First, you have the revolving door. Someone takes campaign contributions, does the company's bidding, gets rewarded after the fact. But also, what is Palantir's ultimate goal here, do you think?
Yeah, so, and Marjorie Taylor Greene actually enters this conversation in late breaking news that's happening right now. She went after Gallagher. I'll explain that in a second. But first, to answer Jordan's two questions. First of all, let's note the irony that this guy is against theoretical Chinese government spying of Americans. It's never been proven, never shown. And China does not own TikTok. Two Chinese nationals own a percentage of TikTok. So do a lot of Americans, including the top contributor to Donald Trump. Then that's why Donald Trump reversed his position on TikTok and says, "What ban? I didn't mean ban. Now that I got millions of dollars from Jeff Yazd, no, TikTok's A-okay." And that's how corruption works. That's the second part of the story. But so it's theoretical Chinese government spying on Americans. Terrible, right? Actual proven US government spying on Americans and then using that against American citizens, A-okay, yay, Palantir. A lot of mainstream media don't give you honest news. We do, you know why? Because of you. Paid membership on YouTube makes all the difference. Hit the join button below and you become the hero that sustains us. And in Washington, no one even took note of that. We had to look into how much money he's gotten from Palantir and all the different connections that he has to him, because in Washington they think that that's just Tuesday. Yeah, revolving door, congressman does favors for this company. And by the way, maybe in this case it's not competitors, but whatever bidding they have. I don't know if they care about TikTok, does that for them. But much, much more importantly, defense spending bills probably had funding that went to this company, as ICE funding that Jordan just talked about, et cetera. So Gallagher likely voted and directed an enormous amount of money to this company. And then they gave him tons of campaign donations, as we just showed you. And that's already legalized bribery. But now he's gonna go work for them. And then he's gonna make millions, very, very likely, as a lot of these former congressmen do and former generals do. And no one is gonna bat an eyelash in Washington, D.C. They're just gonna look at it as like, oh yeah, that's a congressman that did everything this company wanted. And that company spies on American citizens, by the way, as far as we can tell from the reporting. And then now he's gonna get paid a ton of money from them because he was their boy, their servant in Congress. And that's normal, that's totally good. But TikTok, the kids, the Chinese communists are making our kids dance on TikTok. They're making them dance, I say. Okay, so this is American media and American politics. Now, you wanna know the Marjorie Taylor Greene angle here? So she says Gallagher should be immediately expelled from the House. Why? Is she upset about what Palantir is doing? No, of course she doesn't care. She's a fake populist. She doesn't care. She's like, oh, they're giving out money? Where? Right? So no, the thing she's concerned about is if he steps down, I think before April 8th, then they have an election right away, a special election to replace him. But he's stepping down April 19th, so they will not have a special election. So the Republicans will not have that seat at all until the end of this term. And she thinks that he's doing that as an act of betrayal against the Republican Party. I mean, this guy didn't even vote to impeach Homeland Security Chief Mayorkas when he hadn't committed any crimes. Who cares about crimes or misdemeanors? Who cares? We don't care about facts. This Gallagher guy seems to care about facts. Heretic. He should have voted to impeach Mayorkas when he's not listening to what Trump says. And that's unacceptable, right? So she wants to kick him out now. But I get it, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with her in any of those positions, but she's not wrong about the dates. And my guess is that Gallagher did wait after the deadline so they wouldn't have an extra vote in Congress. So that gives you a sense of where his head is at. And that one I appreciate. And I hope that Marjorie Taylor Greene just screams into the void, but they don't actually do anything about it.
I think the point you made about none of this is really about spying. And that's not what TikTok is doing. It's not the Chinese government. The xenophobia around that app is really alarming because as we saw during COVID, when people were pushing the Chinese lab theory, and even if it was true, that doesn't, who cares? It's none of it's good. And what it did was it inspired anti-Asian hate crimes here. And as we continue to ratchet up tensions with China, we get closer to, we basically already are in a Cold War with China, but we certainly don't want a hot war with Taiwan as a proxy. And that seems to be what Palantir is agitating for. This is part of a broader scheme. I talked to Sam Biddle at The Intercept earlier today in preparation for this story, and I just to get a gut check. Is this something that they might want to acquire if ByteDance is forced to sell? That would be an inroad in the data collection marketplace. He said maybe not. They might not want that headache, but really what they want is to continue pushing, ratcheting up tensions with China because that serves their ultimate goal, which is more government contracts. The more paranoia, the more fear that they can instill in Congress and have the anti-China hawks parrot in Congress, the easier it is to sell increased overreach into people's lives, increased in willingness to give up their civil liberties in favor of more spying. I mean, Snowden sounded the alarm in 2013 about the American spying apparatus. That he was deemed a traitor for even talking about it. But an app where kids dance and post songs and kids talk about politics. I mean, granted, there's people of all ages on there. I think Cenk, you're on there, but they're worried about spying there and data collection there. But companies were giving a back door to the NSA. Like the Five Eyes were sharing all of this information. Oh, I can't spy on you. Hey, Canada, can you spy on this person and give us the information? Oh, hey, Australia, can you spy on this person and give us the information? They don't care about spying. They don't care about your civil liberties. And they just want to continue ratcheting up tensions with China because for them, it's more government contracts.
Okay, let's not miss that Jordan said people of all ages are on TikTok, the kids plus Cenk.
Kids plus Cenk, yeah, all the demographics.
Okay, now look, I am on TikTok, both at Cenk Uygur and I think it's at Cenk Uygur or Cenk Uygur official. That's hilarious. I already forgot. Such a boomer move to forget your own handle. Anyways, but mainly on the Young Turks. But I tell you that because if the Chinese are spying in on me, I don't want that, right? So I have no reason to root for it. No one's ever proved it. Everybody just says it. No one's ever shown a single piece of evidence about it. But by the way, Facebook has all of our information, Google has all of our information, and no one cares. So let's, and then, the Chinese are turning our kids progressive. I got news for you. They were already progressive and they were already dancing. So last thing that you might not know, there's also a financial angle here. Because of this constant pressure from the US government against TikTok, its current market value is suppressed. And if they are forced to sell, who are they going to be forced to sell to? US companies. And those companies then, the minute they buy it, the percentage that is of the Chinese citizen investors that would be forced to sell, then the price will immediately go up. So there's actually US financial interest in forcing the government, US government, forcing a sale of this company so they can make hundreds of millions of dollars. So don't lose track of that corruption too. So if you think that it's because Ted Cruz and Joe Biden are really worried about the Chinese getting our data and turning us into a country that's footloose, I got news for you. It's got nothing to do with that, and it has everything to do with all the different factors we just explained to you. All right, thanks for watching this free clip of Old School. Don't forget to become a TYT member today for the rest of the show and for more exclusive content throughout the network. Join now at tyt.com/join.